I am discussing a very important topic today, point of care ultrasound for gastric antrum. So we all know pulmonary aspiration is the most dreaded perioperative complication and it can lead to significant morbidity and mortality. So once we give general anesthesia and even light sedation, it depresses tone of lower esophageal sphincter and at the same time it depresses upper airway reflexes. Both these things can lead to pulmonary aspiration and regurgitation of gastric contents into lungs. So, American Society of Anesthesiologists have given fasting guidelines on the basis of ingested material. Like for clear liquids, it is 2 hours. For breast milk, it is 4 hours. For infant formula, non-human milk and light meal, it is 6 hours. And for fatty meal and meats, it is 8 hours. So, for any kind of POCUS examination, we follow I-AIM protocol. That is, we should know why we are doing a particular POCUS examination. That means we should know the indication of doing a POCUS examination. Then we should know how to acquire an optimum image. After image acquisition, we should know how to interpret that image. And on the basis of that interpretation, we should be able to make right medical decision. So let's see how we can use this I-AIM protocol in gastric antrum point of care ultrasound. Okay, so sometimes the history given by patient or attendants may be doubtful or unclear, like in cases of language barrier. If the patient is in altered mental status or in pediatric patients, the child can be with so many people. The child can be taken care by parents, grandparents, uncles and aunts, and one of them might give something to a crying baby. Some conditions are associated with delayed gastric emptying, like comorbidities, like diabetes mellitus, chronic kidney disease, hypothyroidism, neuromuscular disorders, and critical illness. Certain drugs, like narcotics, GLP-1 agonists, and tricyclic antidepressants are linked with delayed gastric emptying. And psychological disorders like eating disorders, a pregnant patient, a patient who is in labor, or an obese patient, all these patients have delayed gastric emptying. And sometimes the patient may be within fasting interval and you have to take up the patient for some kind of procedure involving sedation or general anesthesia. So in all these scenarios, you can do ultrasound of gastric antrum to calculate gastric volume and decide whether the patient is low risk or high risk of respiration. So moving forward, the stomach has fundus, cardiac, pylorus, antrum, and body. But we are specially focused on antrum. So why? So remember, antrum is the most superficial part of stomach. And we locate antrum in just 3 centimeters. It is most consistent in location. Antrum is most amenable to sonographic examination. It is the easily identifiable structure. And above all, antrum contains least amount of air than rest of the stomach. So always remember, air interferes with ultrasound examination. It's an enemy of ultrasound. So antrum is characterized by 5 layers. And these layers appears as hyperechoic, hypoechoic bands on ultrasound. So the innermost layer is a mucosal air interface and it appears as a hyperechoic layer. Then going outwards, we have muscularis mucosa, submucosa, muscularis propria, and the outermost layer is serosa. Serosa again appears as a thin hyperechoic layer. So the point to remember is the innermost layer and the outermost layer. Both these layers appears as hyperechoic on ultrasound. So what is the location of antrum? How to identify antrum on ultrasound? So antrum is sandwiched between the inferior edge of left lobe of liver and pancreas. And we locate antrum at the level of aorta or inferior vena cava. Sometimes you may see superior mesenteric artery arising from aorta, but it is not essential to locate superior mesenteric artery. And posterior to these structures, we have spine with posterior acoustic dropout and nothing is visible below spine. So you might confuse antrum with other hollow viscous which are present in vicinity, especially colon. So how to differentiate between stomach and colon? So remember, first point is location. Gastric antrum is located inferior to the lower border of liver. while your colon is located caudate or inferior to stomach. So antrum has the thickest wall in amongst all GI organs. It is a characteristic 5-layered wall structure, while colon is a thin wall structure. And you can appreciate internal folds very well in gastric antrum, while they are absent in colon. So this red outline denotes gastric antrum, and we can make out it is thick and it is well defined. While this green outline is colonic serosa, and we can see it is thin and ill-defined. So before we can acquire image, we have to select right kind of ultrasound probe. So in children and thin adults who weigh less than 40 kg, we need to use high frequency linear probe. But in adults and children weighing more than 40 kg, we have to use low frequency curvilinear probe to examine gastric antrum. So in what position we examine gastric antrum? We have to examine gastric antrum in two positions, supine and right lateral decubitus. Why right lateral decubitus? Because this position facilitates the movement of any gastric content into antrum because of gravity. And in those patients in whom you cannot give right lateral decubitus position, you have to examine patient in supine and semi-recumbent position. So for probe placement, so probe has to be placed in sagittal orientation just below xiphoid process. And then you slide the probe from right costal margin to the left costal margin. Remember, you have to view antrum for at least 10 to 15 seconds, and you have to evaluate antrum at rest. That means in between peristaltic movements for accurate measurement. So next come interpretation. Once we have acquired the image of gastric antrum, we have to interpret. So assessment can be of two types. It can be a qualitative assessment and it can be a quantitative assessment. So first we see how we can do a qualitative assessment. For qualitative assessment, you just have to keep the probe, acquire image and see whether the antrum is empty or it has solids or it has liquids. But for that, we need to know what, empty antrum or antrum with liquids or solid look like. So I will play videos with antrum with each of these contents, and you have to keep these images in mind. Okay. So my first video is an empty antrum, and it appears like a bull's eye or a target. And why it appears like this? This is because of alternating hyperechoic and hypoechoic bands of antral walls on ultrasound. Okay, so this is this is an empty antrum. So next comes antrum with clear fluid. So the fluid is hypoechoic on ultrasound. And because you ingest air bubbles, so it gives a starry night appearance. These white dots are nothing but air bubbles. Next is antrum with solid. So we can have two phases in solids. One is early phase and one is late phase. So early phase is right after ingestion of a meal. So when you ingest meal, the food is mixed with air, and the presence of air obscures posterior wall of gastric antrum and vessels and organs posterior to gastric antrum. So nothing is visible below air-food interface, and it gives a frosted glass-like pattern. So what happens in late stage? So in late stage, everything mixes up inside stomach and churns inside stomach, and it gives a homogeneous hyperechoic appearance. So even the thick fluid like milk or curd will give a homogeneous hyperechoic appearance. So this is a video in which the antrum has food and liquids both in it, and we can also appreciate peristaltic movement. See, we can also appreciate peristaltic movements of antrum. So remember, you have to evaluate antrums at rest and in between peristaltic movements. So now what empty antrum with liquids or solid look like. So let's see an algorithm and let's see how we can grade antrum. So first we examine gastric antrum in supine position. So there can be three scenarios. Either antrum can have solid in it, that means it is full stomach. And so remember, your POCUS examination ends there. And this particular patient falls under high risk of aspiration. Then your antrum can either appear to be empty or it can have liquids in it. So in these two scenarios, you have to again examine patient in right lateral decubitus position. Suppose your antrum appears again empty in right lateral decubitus position. It is labeled as grade 0 antrum and it falls under category of low risk of aspiration. Next scenario can be your antrum was empty in supine position, but it may have fluids in right lateral decubitus position. So that is labeled as grade 1 antrum. And if antrum has liquids both in supine and right lateral decubitus position, it is labeled as grade 2 antrum. So grade 1 antrum generally implies gastric volume of less than 1.5 ml per kg, and it falls under low risk of aspiration, but you can go for quantitative assessment both in grade 1 and grade 2 antrums. So how we do quantitative assessment? So remember, quantitative assessment is done only for liquids. It is done only in right lateral decubitus position. We identify antrum at the level of aorta. We evaluate antrum at rest, that means in between peristaltic movements. Once we acquire the image, you freeze the image and trace. And the trace is made from serosa to serosa, ensuring to include all layers of antral walls. Then the machine will give you a cross-sectional area. And on the basis of that, you calculate gastric volume. And remember, take mean of 3 measurements for accurate assessment of gastric volume. So one thing to remember is the baseline gastric secretions are in the range of 0.4 to 0.6 ml per kilogram. But the upper limit is taken to be 1.5 ml per kg. That means gastric volume with equal to 1.5 ml per kg is considered to be safe and low risk of aspiration. Any volume more than 1.5 ml per kg falls under high risk of aspiration. And surprisingly, this limit is found to be similar across all age groups, extremes of body habitus, and even in pregnancy. So, Pallas and et al. Have given a mathematical formula to calculate gastric volume on the basis of age and cross-sectional area that we calculate on ultrasound. So, initially, this formula was given for non-pregnant adults in patients with BMI less than 40 kilograms per meter square, and it could predict volume up to 500 ml. So how we do quantitative assessment? So remember, quantitative or volume assessment is done in right lateral decubitus position. We measure the antral cross-sectional area and then we refer the table. See, in table there are certain shaded areas, and the shaded areas, they fall under safe category. So in general, the volume less than 100 ml falls under safe category and it is low risk of aspiration. Okay, so if the value of your gastric volume falls under shaded area, it signifies less than 100 ml and it is safe to proceed for surgery or sedation, and it is falls under low risk of aspiration. Otherwise, we calculate basal gastric volume that at the rate of 1.5 ml per kg. And if your measured gastric volume is less than 1.5 ml per kg, then it is low risk of aspiration. But if your measured gastric volume on the basis of table is more than 1.5 ml per kg, it falls under high risk of aspiration. Okay, so this is a video that will show you how we do quantitative assessment. This is an antrum with liquid in it. In right lateral decubitus position, we freeze the screen and then we make a trace from serosa to serosa. That is the outermost white hyperechoic line. Okay. Once we are done with the trace, we save calculation. And the machine automatically gives you a cross-sectional area. So in this case, cross-sectional area was 7.66 centimeters square. Okay, so I made this video on a volunteer who was 22 years of age and weighed 47 kg. So basal gastric secretion at 1.5 ml per kg came out to be 70.5 ml. And cross-sectional area calculated by machine was 7.66 centimeters square. So I referred to the table and the gastric volume came out to be 103 mLs. So 103 ml also, it is not in the shaded area. That means it falls in high risk of aspiration, and it is definitely more than your basic gastric secretions, that is 1.5 ml per kg. So this patient, we can confidently say that in this patient, it is unsafe to go for general anesthesia, and this patient will be a high risk for aspiration. So now we have, acquired the image. We have interpreted the image. So let's see how it can influence your medical decision making. So once we know whether the gastric volume falls under safe zone or unsafe zone, we can either decide to proceed with the surgery or delay surgery. If it is an elective surgery, we can change anesthetic management in case of emergency surgery. Like a patient who wants general anesthesia, we can convince them to go for regional anesthesia if possible. And if it is not possible and you have to take a patient for emergency surgery, you can take proper aspiration precautions. Like you can go for rapid sequence induction, or you can go for endotracheal intubation instead of supraglottic devices. So that is how evaluating gastric antrum can influence your anesthetic management. Okay. So what about evaluation of gastric antrum in special population? What about in small children or pediatrics? So yes, ultrasound evaluation of gastric antrum has been studied in pediatric population, and they have given a different mathematical formula to calculate gastric volume on the basis of cross-sectional area and age. But one point to remember is that the upper limit of basic basal gastric secretions is taken to be 1.25 ml per kg instead of 1.5 ml per kg in adults. That means gastric volume, which is equivalent to 1.25 ml per kg, is considered safe in pediatric age group. So what about in obese patient? So the same formula given by Parla et al. Has been studied in patients with BMI more than 35 kilogram per meter square, and it has found to perform well in these patients also. So same formula will apply in obese patient to calculate gastric volume. Only point to remember is that in non-obese patient, we can locate gastric antrum at a depth of 3 centimeters. But in obese patient, we locate gastric antrum around depth of 7 centimeters. So it is slightly difficult to locate gastric antrum in obese patients. So next come pregnancy. So a pregnant patient definitely poses challenge in location of gastric antrum. And why? Because the gravid uterus causes displacement of distal stomach, and because of tachypnea and hyperdynamic circulation of pregnancy, it is difficult to acquire image of gastric antrum. So remember, we have to use low frequency curvilinear probe to evaluate gastric antrum in pregnant patients, and we evaluate gastric antrum in 45-degree semi-recumbent and right lateral decubitus position in pregnancy, but never in supine position, because in term pregnancy, supine position is linked to supine hypotension syndrome. So you can do few maneuvers to optimize image of gastric antrum in pregnant patient. You can ask her to hold breath in end expiration. We can ask pregnant females to straighten their legs. This maneuver will push gravid uterus away from gastric antrum, and you can do manual displacement of gravid uterus. So Arzola and et al. Have given a cutoff limit of 9.6 centimeters for cross-sectional area. That means if your cross-sectional area is more than 9.6 centimeters square, then it denotes gastric volume of more than 1.5 ml per kg, and the patient will fall under high risk of aspiration. Okay, so there are certain limitations to gastric ultrasound. First is presence of air in bowel can obscure antral views. And the gastric antrum ultrasound is unreliable in patients with previous gastric surgeries, like patient who has, undergone a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass surgery, or a patient who has undergone sleeve gastrectomies, or a patient with lower esophageal or gastric tumors, or a patient in whom there is large hiatus hernia. In all these patients, your gastric antrum evaluation may not be accurate, and the role before tracheal extubation has not been examined so far. So with this, I come to my last slide, and there are few take-home messages. So remember, gastric antrum ultrasound is a non-invasive. It is painless, and it is a quick bedside tool to evaluate gastric volume. The learning curve of gastric antrum ultrasound is low, and it can be easily learned, and it can definitely influence your anesthetic management. Thank you so much.